Hello, welcome to ASMR Fairy Tales. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Let the world above fade away, breathe deeply, slowly, and sink into stillness. Tonight, we travel beneath the waves to a kingdom of coral and moonlight, where a young mermaid dreams of another world. This is the Little Mermaid, far below the ocean's surface, where sunlight turns to silver, where the water whispers ancient songs. There lay a kingdom, a palace of shells and pearls, towers of coral reaching toward the distant sky, gardens filled with anemones that swayed like sleepy dancers. The Sea King ruled there, wise and gentle, and with him lived his 6 daughters, each more beautiful than the last. The youngest, the Little Mermaid, was the quietest of all. Her voice, soft as foam, her eyes the color of deep water. She spent her days tending a small garden. A statue of a human boy rested there, found from a shipwreck long ago. She would trace its features, wondering, dreaming of the world above the waves. On her 15th birthday, as was the custom, she was allowed to rise to the surface. She swam upward, her heart light and curious, and broke through into the evening air, the sky. Oh, the sky was painted in shades of rose, and gold stars began to appear one by one like tiny promises. In the distance, a ship floated, music drifted across the water, laughter, celebration. She swam closer, cautious, but captivated. On the deck, a young prince stood, tall and kind, surrounded by others who toasted to his birthday. The Little Mermaid watched, enchanted. Something in her chest stirred, a longing she had never known. The celebration continued, lanterns glowing like fireflies, until the sky rumbled. A storm arrived, swift and fierce, waves rose like mountains. The ship tilted, creaked, and splintered. The prince fell into the churning sea. Without thought, the Little Mermaid dove, she found him sinking, pulled him upward, held his head above the water, and swam toward shore. Her arms ached, her breath came shallow, but she did not let go. She brought him to a beach, soft sand, morning mist curling around them. She laid him gently, brushed wet hair from his forehead, and sang her voice like a lullaby woven from starlight. The prince stirred, his eyes fluttered. But before he could see her, voices approached. She slipped back into the waves, watching from behind the rocks as others found him. The Little Mermaid returned to her kingdom, but her heart stayed on that shore. She asked her grandmother about humans, about souls, about love. Her grandmother told her mermaids live 300 years, but when they die, they become foam. On the sea, humans, though their lives are shorter, have immortal souls that rise to the stars. The only way a mermaid could gain a soul was if a human loved her so deeply that they became one. The Little Mermaid's longing grew. She thought of the prince, of walking on land, of being seen, truly seen. She could not forget him. In desperation, she sought the sea witch, who lived in a dark cavern surrounded by swirling currents and skeletal coral. The witch's eyes glowed with knowing. She offered a bargain, a potion that would split the mermaid's tail into legs. But the price was her voice, and each step on land would feel like walking on knives. And if the prince married another, her heart would break, and she would dissolve into sea foam at dawn. The Little Mermaid trembled, but she nodded. She drank the potion, bitter and cold her tail shimmered, divided, transformed. Pain shot through her. But she did not cry out, for she had no voice left to cry with. She surfaced near the palace, climbed the marble steps, and collapsed. The prince found her, wrapped her in soft cloth. She could not speak, but her eyes told stories. He was kind, charmed by her grace, her mysterious presence. She danced for him, though every step burned like fire. She smiled through the pain, because he smiled back. Days passed like this, tender, quiet, close, but not close enough. But the prince spoke often of another, a girl who had found him on the beach, who had sung to him. He did not know, could not know. It had been the Little Mermaid. He believed it was a princess from a neighboring kingdom. And when the time came, he was to marry her. The wedding was held on a grand ship, lanterns strung like falling stars. The Little Mermaid stood on the deck, her heart fracturing with each vow spoken. The prince and his bride held hands, and the Little Mermaid felt the night closing in. She knew by sunrise she would be no more. Her sisters rose from the waves, their long hair gone, traded to the sea witch for a dagger. They told her if she plunged it into the prince's heart before dawn, she could return to the sea, return to them, live her 300 years. The Little Mermaid took the dagger, her hand shaking. She crept to where the prince slept, his bride beside him, peaceful, trusting. She raised the blade, but her heart whispered no. She loved him truly, and love does not harm. She could not do it. She dropped the dagger and turned toward the horizon, where the first light of dawn began to break. Golden and soft, she stepped to the edge of the ship and threw herself into the sea. But instead of dissolving into foam, she felt herself lifting, rising into the air. Spirits of light surrounded her, daughters of the air, who told her, because of her selfless love, her sacrifice, she would not disappear, she would join them. And through acts of kindness over 300 years, she could earn an immortal soul. The Little Mermaid looked down at the ship, at the prince, and felt peace, not the ending she had dreamed, but an ending filled with grace. She had loved deeply, truly, and that love had transformed her, not into foam, but into something luminous, free, and eternal. Here, with ASMR Fairy Tales, may you feel the depth of true love, the courage to let go, and the peace of knowing that every sacrifice made with a pure heart is never truly lost. Rest now, breathe slowly, and drift into dreams as gentle as the tide. Good night.